Item Number: SCP-2107. Object Class: Euclid. Special Containment Procedures: all instances of SCP-2107 are to be stored in a CNSI containment locker at Site-19. Any number of instances may be moved to a refrigerated CNSI unit in advance of experimental trials. Mobile Containment Task Force Theta-61, carbonation-based life forms, is responsible for coordinating routine screenings for new instances of SCP-2107 at retail venues which are considered probable locations for appearance. Newly discovered instances are to be acquired by conventional methods when possible. For larger quantities, or in cases where a retailer's proprietor is deemed to likely become problematic, Acquisition Protocols 14, Covert Theft, 15, Overt Theft, and 47, Impersonation of Federal Agency, may be utilized with authorization from staff with Security Clearance 3-2107 or higher. Individuals exposed to the anomalous properties of SCP-2107 are to be treated with Class A amnestics and remitted to the nearest civilian hospital for any medical care rendered necessary following exposure. Description: SCP-2107 designates a soft drink brand known as Diet Ghost, which displays anomalous properties when imbibed. SCP-2107 has to date only been encountered packaged by the individual can. Within 3 to 7 minutes of ingestion, subjects classified SCP-2107-A begin to experience paranormal activity that most often falls within the colloquial expectations of an individual being haunted by a ghost or other paranormal entity. The effect continues until an as-of-yet undetermined point in the breakdown of SCP-2107 within the subject's body, approximately 1 to 3 hours after ingestion. Research has confirmed that the intensity of the haunting effect, herein described by the quantity of individual paranormal facets, the probability of physical harm, and the severity of said harm, is directly proportional to the quantity of SCP-2107 imbibed. SCP-2107 cans are the traditional variety used for soft drinks, being in uniform design and non-anomalous in composition and behavior. The can features a light blue background, with the Diet Ghost logo prominently featured. The catchphrase, "Scare Your Thirst," appears beneath the logo. Most instances also have a sticker on the can with the text, "Made with Natural Ghosts," printed on it. It is unclear if cans lacking this sticker were distributed this way or if the sticker was removed before acquisition. The cans bear no nutritional information. The liquid contents are non-anomalous in chemical composition and within normal parameters for a traditional diet soft drink. Discovery: initial discovery occurred on May 13, 2012, when 7 cans of SCP-2107 were purchased by the Foundation at a local supermarket during a routine restocking of Site-19's recreational facilities. The partial remains of a senior maintenance assistant at Site-19 were found inside the van requisitioned from Site-19's vehicle pool for the purpose of the trip. 2 cans were open and empty of contents when recovered. The junior maintenance assistant, who had been assigned for the restocking duty, had gone back into the supermarket after having forgotten to procure a copy of the receipt of purchase for Foundation records. According to Bob's account, was alone for no longer than approximately 5 minutes. A majority of discoveries have occurred in convenience stores, with acquisitions from supermarkets and restaurants accounting for nearly all additional cases. Employees of retail locations where instances have been discovered have professed no prior knowledge of the product's existence, and records of inventory acquisition have shown no references to SCP-2107. SCP-2107 has now been recovered from retailers in 37 states and 2 Canadian provinces. Production and distribution of SCP-2107 is currently under investigation. SCP-2107 Abridged Experiment Logs. Level 2 security clearance required. Credentials approved. Access recorded. Note: each experiment was carried out using 1 D-Class personnel isolated in a standard humanoid active containment cell with closed-circuit digital recording. Unless otherwise specified, no individual D-Class subject is used for more than one trial. Extraneous, insubstantial, and redundant results have been omitted for brevity. A full version may be found in the SCP-2107 Extended Report. Trial 1. Quantity of SCP-2107 ingested, 30 milliliters. Result. Duration of trial was 1 hour 12 minutes. Subject reported audio-visual phenomena, including hearing her name spoken softly, shadowy figures at the edges of her vision, and a flickering of the lights within the containment chamber that was not corroborated by the recorded footage. Debriefing revealed the subject to have enjoyed the experience overall. Subject described the taste of SCP-2107 as bland but refreshing. Trial 6. Quantity ingested, 90 milliliters. Result. Subject experienced intermittent activity similar to the phenomena in previous experiments for over an hour before new effects presented. At 1 hour 20 minutes, the subject began to experience moderate bleeding from the nose, without identifiable physical cause. Simultaneously, the recording equipment began to encounter interference of a magnetic nature that lasted for 2 minutes. This is noted as the first instance where activity was observable by non-SCP-2107A sources in Foundation trials. The bleeding continued unabated for several minutes, causing severe distress to the subject. All effects ceased at 1 hour 28 minutes. Trial 7. Quantity ingested, 90 milliliters. Result. Trial begins with activity patterns identical to those described by the subject in Trial 1. Subject's nose began to bleed at the 19-minute mark. At 23 minutes, subject began vomiting due to a combination of distress and nausea caused by the presence of their own blood. This is evaluated to be purely physiological in nature and non-anomalous. Following vomiting, a majority of the activity ceased. Subject reported still having intermittent hallucinations in his peripheral vision until 48 minutes. Trial 14. Quantity ingested, 150 milliliters. Result. Subject began to experience phenomena similar to previous trials at 2 minutes, which rapidly increased in intensity. The lights in the cell are seen to flicker briefly at 16 minutes by both the subject and supervising personnel. Subject reported the feeling of being lifted off the ground during this effect, but this is not visible in the footage. Quantity of activity is approximate to previous trials, but level of intensity is significantly higher as reported by subject. Effects began to subside at 54 minutes and had ceased entirely at 59 minutes. Subject observed the taste as average, but expressed difficulty in elaborating upon this description. Trial 31. Quantity ingested, 270 milliliters. Result. Subject experienced no activity until 31 minutes, at which point all electronics within a 10-meter radius failed for approximately 17 seconds. When power returned, subject had fallen to the ground unconscious, and the trial was ended. Personnel entered the containment cell and confirmed the subject had expired. Upon autopsy, subject's body was found to be void of most major internal organs. No incision marks or signs of trauma were present. Note: future experiments are suspended without authorization from staff with security clearance level 4-2107. Addendum: December 27th, 2014. Area personnel have encountered and acquired a previously undiscovered packaging variant. 15 cans were produced by a vending machine in Area cafeteria. When the machine was opened for further inspection, no anomalous properties were discovered. These new instances of SCP-2107 feature changes to the design of the background, which now feature white silhouettes of tombstones, cats, and cartoonish ghosts interspersed between iterations of the logo. Of note is the addition of new stickers to the can in the same font as the catchphrase text.
From the makers of Ghost, 100% more spooky. Scaretisfaction guaranteed.
And
your old favorite is back.
all instances of SCP-2107 from Area are en route to Site 19 for containment and research trials to confirm whether their contents produce the same anomalous activity as previously recorded instances. The addition of vending machines to the list of provenance locations is under investigation, with revisions to object class and special containment procedures awaiting approval.